Welcome to Giving Life Advice. Today, we're digging into the art of sharing meaningful guidance, especially through advanced English. To begin, why do you think people seek or offer life advice in the first place?
That's a thoughtful question. People often look for advice when they're at crossroads, whether it's about career, relationships, or personal growth. Sharing advice isn't just about offering solutions. It's about passing on hard-earned wisdom and helping others avoid mistakes we've made ourselves.
That makes sense, particularly when advice is given in a sincere, empathetic way. As we transition, how might advanced English structures help speakers express that wisdom more effectively?
Advanced structures like conditionals and modal verbs let us deliver nuanced, reflective advice. For example, saying, "If I were you, I'd," or "you might consider," shows empathy and avoids sounding too directive, which can make advice more palatable and persuasive.
Let's delve deeper into conditionals. How do first, second, and third conditionals shape the way we give advice?
Great point. First conditionals like, "If you want to succeed, you have to stay consistent," offer practical, future-oriented advice. Second conditionals, such as, "If I were you, I'd take the opportunity," show empathy, placing ourselves in someone else's shoes. Third conditionals reflect on past regrets, like, "If I had known, I wouldn't have ignored it."
So, using these structures, we can address real, hypothetical, or past scenarios with sensitivity. Can you illustrate how this adds emotional depth to advice?
Certainly. Imagine telling someone, "If you had taken that trip, you might have found a new passion." It recognizes their feelings without judgment and encourages reflection, making the advice more supportive rather than critical.
Moving on, modal verbs are another powerful tool. How do words like should, might, and could refine the way we offer suggestions?
Modal verbs allow us to suggest rather than command. For example, "You should listen to your intuition," gently nudges, while "you might regret it if you don't try," introduces a possible consequence. "You could take a break" offers an option, not an order. This approach respects the listener's autonomy.
That's a crucial point, especially in cross-cultural communication where direct advice can be misinterpreted. By using modals, we invite rather than instruct, keeping the conversation collaborative.
Exactly. It's about opening doors for reflection rather than closing them with fixed judgments. This is particularly effective in sensitive contexts, like career changes or personal setbacks.
Idioms can make advice more vivid and relatable. Can you share some idiomatic expressions that are especially effective in life advice?
Absolutely. Saying "burn the candle at both ends" warns against overworking, while "bite the bullet" encourages facing tough decisions. Phrases like "the ball is in your court" empower listeners to take action. Idioms add color and resonance, making advice stick.
And when we say time heals all wounds, it offers comfort after setbacks. These metaphors tap into universal experiences, don't they?
They do. Idioms bridge cultural gaps and make advice memorable. Research shows that learners who use idiomatic language sound more fluent and are perceived as more empathetic.
Let's transition to tone. Giving advice can be tricky. How do we balance honesty with empathy, especially in English?
It helps to frame advice with personal experience and non-judgmental language. For example, "I learned the hard way that rushing leads to mistakes" is more relatable than "you're making a mistake." It's about sharing, not lecturing.
So, phrasing things as personal reflections rather than mandates fosters trust. Have you found any techniques particularly effective for this?
Asking questions like, "Have you considered?" or using softeners such as "maybe" or "perhaps" can also create a safe space. The goal is to support, not to impose.
Let's apply these ideas to real scenarios, starting with careers. What advice would you give someone considering a major career change?
"If I were you, I'd weigh the pros and cons carefully, but not let fear paralyze you. You could talk to mentors or people already in the field. Remember, the ball is in your court. Taking calculated risks can lead to huge growth."
That's practical. Would you use conditional structures here to address possible regrets or missed opportunities?
Definitely. For instance, "If you don't take the leap now, you might look back and wonder what could have been." It frames risk not just as danger, but as potential for fulfillment.
Shifting gears to relationships, how would you advise someone struggling with a difficult friendship or breakup?
First, I'd say, if you feel drained, you should prioritize your well-being. Sometimes, you have to bite the bullet and have tough conversations. And remember, time heals all wounds. Give yourself space to recover.
That's reassuring. Can we use idioms or hypothetical scenarios to help learners express empathy in these situations?
Absolutely. Phrases like take it with a grain of salt help when discussing rumors or harsh words. You might say, if you let go now, you could find healthier connections down the road.
Let's talk about failure. How do you encourage learners to see mistakes as part of the journey, not the end?
If you learn the hard way, you gain resilience. You should view setbacks as stepping stones. For example, a 2022 survey found that 83% of entrepreneurs failed at least once before succeeding. Reframing mistakes with positive language inspires persistence.
That's a powerful statistic. Using conditional and modal verbs, we can show growth. If you hadn't failed, you might not appreciate success.
Exactly. This approach validates both the struggle and the eventual triumph, encouraging continuous self-improvement.
Many people struggle with comparison. What advanced language can we use to help listeners focus on their own paths?
You might be tempted to compare, but, as the saying goes, comparison is the thief of joy. If you measure your progress against others, you might disregard your unique strengths. Everyone's journey is different. Embrace it.
That's wise. Could hypothetical scenarios reinforce this point?
Certainly. If you spent all your time watching others, you could miss your own opportunities. Such statements encourage self-reflection and confidence.
To wrap up, let's discuss practical exercises for learners. How can they apply these structures and idioms to their own advice giving in English?
One effective method is writing a monologue to your past self, using at least 3 conditionals, 2 modal verbs, and 3 idioms. Recording and comparing your speech helps with fluency and intonation, while matching idioms with meanings boosts comprehension.
Great advice. Regular practice not only builds grammar skills, but also confidence in expressing empathy and wisdom in English.
Absolutely. The more you experiment with advanced structures, the more natural and insightful your advice will sound. Remember, language is as much about heart as it is about rules.